Welcome. We'd like to welcome you to this segment of Enjoy the Journey today. And I am your host, Gregory Young, and this is my lovely wife, Shateta Young. And today's hot topic is we're continuing our series on Your Why Matters. And today's hot topic is, how big is your why? But first of all, I just want to tell you, I would just like for you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Greg and Shateta Young. Enjoy the journey. And then I would also like for you to check out our awesome website at enjoythejourney.org. But today's life skill hot topic is, how big is your why? So when we look at a topic, a subject like that, how big is your why? I know you're saying, well, Greg, what are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. When I say how big is your why, I mean, how big is your reason for what you're doing today, and how much sense does it make to you? And in the long run, is it going to give you what you need moving forward to success, to a successful life that you could live and not be worried about nothing, not be worried about your health, not be worried about your finances, not be worried about your social mind being, your mindset, and all those things. That's why I'm asking the question, how big is your why? Because I want you to think about that. Because when it comes to the reason why people do things, first of all, they need to know how big their why is before they set out to do something. And the reason being, if you know how big your why is and the reason why you're doing what you're doing in life, whatever you do to put food on your table. I'm just going to give it an example. How big is that to you? Is that big enough to you to where you could continue doing what you're doing right now to put food on your table and live a healthy and wealthy and successful lifestyle and a peaceful mindset for the rest of your life with where you are right now? Is your why that big? And if your why is that big, then you have accomplished the things in life that you need to accomplish. But I'm just going to tell you, I don't believe that your why is that big because, and for one reason, is because everybody in this earth, on this earth, no matter where they are mentally, physically, financially, could always use more. Right. So that's the reason why I say I don't believe your why is that big. You may believe it's that big, but when you look at it in turn, it's not really that big because of the simple fact, like I said, are you satisfied with the job you're working? Are you satisfied with the income you're making? Are you satisfied with the health you have? Are you satisfied with the mindset that you wake up with each and every day? Mm-hmm. So that drives you back to the question of how big is your why? Now, I'm going to tell you how big my why is. My why is so big that me, myself, personally, I'm at the situation to where in my life to where I'm not satisfied with where I am health-wise, mentally, and financially, and mindset. So you know what? My why is so big that I am willing to make my why bigger than what it is right now. So that's what I'm saying to you right now. If your why is not so big that you're willing to make your why bigger than what it is right now, then your why is not big at all. Mm-hmm. Because you have to realize when you ask yourself the question, how big is your why? That means how big are the reasons for the seasons, for the things that you do on a daily lifestyle? Mm-hmm. And will they give you what you want out of life? And that's why I say that to myself, because I'm always striving for more. I'm always looking for a better way to do something better than I did it yesterday. Or I'm always looking for a better way to find a better investment than I invested in the day before. Or I'm always trying to find a way to eat a little bit more healthier than I did yesterday, so I can stay a little bit more healthy. So you see where I'm coming from when I ask you the question, how big is your why? Your why should be so big as the why. You know that your why is big, but it's not big enough. You realize that you can make your why much, much bigger than what it is. And that's why I asked you the question, how big is your why? And I just want you to think about that.
Exactly. When it comes down to your why need to be so big that it has to scare you. And you're like, why? What is my why? Your why for your purpose in life. Your why for your destiny. What would people remember you as? Your why, that type of why. What if that why is not big enough and it don't scare you? Then it's not big enough. I don't research a lot of people who are, wealthy, they made it, they're successful. And they said the only thing they regret, the most time, the only thing they regret is not thinking bigger, faster. Not
Absolutely.
thinking bigger, faster. So if that's a shortcut to give us tips, those who want to grow in our purpose, we have to think bigger, faster. A lot of people are like, oh, what a wealthy they are all for themselves, whatever have you. But they're really not. They want you to win. They want you to win. The ones that have a good heart, most of them do have a good heart. Though.
Absolutely.
Yes, they want you to win. So, and winning, and they're giving you these tips. That's one wanting to think bigger. If your why does not scare you, it's not big enough. Okay, so you have to think about that. Okay. Like some people, like I have this cousin. My cousin, she's a professor, and what she wanted to do was to open up her own school. And she said to herself, man, that kind of scares me. That's when you should do it. That's when you should do it. That's when you should pursue it. That's when you should focus on it. That's when you should make a plan. And I gave her one of my 369 transformation techniques right there. Oh, there we go, right there. So she can write down her plan, so she can make it plain. She can have mindfulness time in order for that to transpire in her life. A lot of times people talk about the schools and stuff like that and so on and so forth. Maybe you should open up your own school. Maybe you should be the one that be helping the youth to go to go up leaps and bounds in order where they want what should be. Maybe you don't just complain about it. Do something about it. Like my cousin's doing. She said, I just don't too much care for the school system over there in Detroit. I really don't. It's just kind of messed up. We're not giving the kids the foundation they need, all walks of life. So she decided to open up her own school. Sometimes you just got to do the unbelievable in order to change people's lives.
And another thing that I want to tell you, your why should be so big enough to where you should be thinking about leaving something like generational wealth. Yeah. You look at all these people back then okay, look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump got his money handed down to him because his father decided to leave generational wealth. Right. And then and it's a bunch of other ones that's like that. I just use that one as an example. Mm-hmm. And that's what you should be thinking. Your why should be big enough to where you want to leave generational wealth. You want your kids when you're not here no longer. You don't want them to struggle on this earth. Right. You don't want to be getting ready to leave this earth and all you worried about is how they're going to survive. Right. You want to be already set that platform for them so you can go ahead and leave this earth in peace and knowing that they don't have to worry about nothing. Mm-hmm. Knowing that you made the decision to know that how big your why was and why you was doing what you was doing, and you put in place a plan in action to where you could pass down generational wealth, where they could pass down generational wealth. And now nobody in the generation of your generation of people have to suffer. You broke that generation curse of poverty in the lifestyle. And that's how big my why is. My why is big enough to where I'm striving in the things that I do and the investments that I do and the things that I get into. I know that they're going to be things that's going to bring me generational wealth that I can hand down to my sons, and then they can hand it down to their sons. And now I'm going to leave a legacy on this earth. And that's why I can say my why is so big that right now I know that it could be bigger. And that's the reason why I'm striving to do bigger. But my message is to you that I want you to understand where I'm coming from. Your why should always be so big to where it could be bigger. Mm-hmm. Because if you just got a why and you accept your why as the where it is right now and you feel like your why is big enough, but even though you have nothing to pass down when you leave this earth to your kids, you have no generational wealth started or nothing like that, and you're just satisfied with that, your why is not big enough. Right. You have to think about the ones that is going to be here when you're no longer here. You want them to live good. You know, you want to be able to, for them to say, hey, man, you know what, man, one thing I can say about my daddy, Greg, boy, he made a way to make sure that he left us generational wealth. He worked hard day and night. He was always doing the things that he needed to do to leave this generational wealth on this earth, because he knew that his why mattered to him. He knew how big his why was. Right. That's the reason why he was always trying to make his why bigger. Right. And that's what I'm saying to you. Don't never settle and say your why is big enough. Say you make $100,000 a year. That why is not big enough. That $100,000 a year that you're making is not going to leave a generational wealth if you don't invest some of that $100,000 a year that you're making. That's the way you got to have the mindset of your why has to be big enough to where if your why does not make you cry when you think about it, or it doesn't put tremors inside of you, and you're not always striving to do more and to make your why bigger, then your why is not big enough. If you say, hey, my why is big enough, okay, I make $100,000 a year, you know, I can do this, I can do that. But ask yourself, when I leave this earth, what am I leaving my children? You know, what am I leaving my family? What kind of generational wealth that I have went out here and worked hard and created that I can pass down? That's what me and my wife is doing. That's why our why is so big to where it can be bigger. Right. That's why we're successful entrepreneurs, but we're trying to reach that $1 million mark of entrepreneurs. And then when we reach $1 million entrepreneurs, we know that we have established generational wealth, and then we keep investing, and now we establish more. And when it's all said and done, we have something that is left for our other generations coming, our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids. And now the young generation never has to worry about when it comes to wealth. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying to you. You should want your generation to be the same. You should want your generation to not have to worry when it comes to wealth, not have to worry when it comes to health. You should be able to leave the things to them and the instructions that they need to get them both.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so your why needs to be big enough. You know, sometimes it's like, okay, what is my why? You know, once you start breaking it down, everything has to be broken down to the last compound. Your why is determined by what do you love? What can you do for others? What can you do for hours and hours and never get tired without even getting paid? You know? Okay, what are those factors in your life that some people can cook chicken real good, you know, and some people can be they're interior decorators, you know, have a talent for interior decorating. It's whatever your gift is, you know. There was like, okay, I think it was Oprah Winfrey. She said, you know, she said when she's in her mindful moment, in her prayer meditation, she says that she automatically goes in and say, what is my right move next? Because she know her answer is within and will come.
Absolutely.
And she knows she'll get the answer. What is my right move next? Sometimes you have to ask those questions. What is your next right move? You have to ask yourself, you know, if you believe in God, then ask God. If you believe God is within, then ask God within. If you don't believe in God at all, just ask yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It works for everybody. You just have to believe bigger and faster.
Absolutely. And like my wife said, you got to believe big. If you want something big in your life, you got to believe big for it. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't just sit back and want something big in your life and your thinking pattern process is not big enough to bring it come forth. Mm-hmm. See, that's what a lot of people realize. They want big things in their life, and that why is big, but they don't want to do the necessary things that it takes to make that big why that they have to come to reality. Mm-hmm. You know, you can have a big why and say you want to accomplish all these things and do all these things in life, but if you never put forth an action to go out there and do it. And then another thing you got to look at it. When you look at how big is your why, you should look at your daily lifestyle.
Yes.
From your daily lifestyle. Now, I really want you to really hear me real good on this. Your daily lifestyle, from the time you get up, from the time you go out and do whatever you do to make a living, to put food on your table, you should look at that and say, is my why big enough for me to go out here and be doing this sacrifice for whatever I'm doing? Is it worth it for me to go out here and do this? And then when I'm done and it's all said and done, what am I going to have that I can give to somebody else, that I can teach somebody else, that I can show somebody else how to do something, or even that I can have to pass down to my kids? What am I going to have if I continue doing what I'm doing right now? Where would I be if I just continue until I'm 65? Where would I be? Would my why be big enough to where I could have all those things and be able to pass this generational wealth down to my family? Or would my why be big enough to where they say, well, he worked for that company for 30 years and he retired, and Lord, he that old greet at Walmart.
Or he's dead.
That why, absolutely.
Yeah.
That why was not big enough.
Right.
You know, you don't want to do things to where your why is not big enough. When it's all said and done and you're finished doing them, you can't live a happy life. You can't live a healthy life. Your why has to be bigger than that. If your why is bigger than living a healthy life, you will live a healthy life. If your why is bigger than living a wealthy life, you will live a wealthy life. If your why is bigger than living a stressed life, you will live an unstressed life. If your why is bigger than living a depressed life, you will live an undepressed lifestyle. So that's why you have to know, you have to really dig deep down within yourself and evaluate yourself in what you're doing right now. Just do an evaluation. Just think about how long you've been doing it, and look and take a look at around the room what you have in front of you and what you have accomplished. And then think about this. Say, well, you know, if I would have, when I decided to open up that business, if I would have did it, I would have been there. Think about it and now say, you know what? I understand what Greg's saying. I'm finna get out here and I'm finna change my why to just being looking at what I see in front of me and what I've already accomplished. I'm finna go out there and accomplish more. I'm finna make my why much bigger than what it is right now, because my why is big, but it can be bigger. And that's what I'm saying to you. You don't have to settle for being where you are. All the people that are rich today came from nothing. Look at Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was homeless. He went through a whole lot of stuff, but now he's a millionaire. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She went through a lot of stuff, but now she's a billionaire. Look at Tyler Perry. He was homeless. He went through a whole lot of stuff. Now he's a millionaire. Right. Who says that you cannot be that next millionaire based upon what you have went for? Who says that the story that you have inside of you that you can tell won't make you $1 million if you're not afraid to let it out? So that's what I mean when I say, how big is your why? Are you willing to put whatever it takes on the line so you can get what you deserve out of life, to where you can extend your why and know that your why can always be bigger?
My thought is
exercise ring closed.
What have to talk about? Well, my thought is that what kind of conversations are you having with yourself? What is the conversation that you're having with yourself? Those conversations is creating the world around you. Those conversations, let me repeat myself, those conversations are creating the world around you. Sometimes you have to talk to yourself. Like I always tell you guys, go in the mirror and talk to yourself. Speak to yourself. Tell yourself that you're beautiful. Tell yourself that you're successful. Look in the mirror. That reflection in the mirror is just an impression of you. Your spirit you cannot see. So therefore, what you look like right now, you thought about it. You created who you are. So now it's time for you to look in that mirror and say, hey, I'm beautiful, I'm successful, and the dream that I have, whatever your dream is, say, I am that. I am that I desire, and I am on the vibration of. Let me repeat it. Say, I see and feel that I am on the vibration on whatever you desire. Whatever you desire, put your desire in there. And it said, I have that now. And just believe it. Even though sometimes you have to live in your visual reality. And that's our next series, talking about our visual reality. That's going to be really awesome. But my thing is that you have to see yourself there. And then you know what? You have to make a plan and make it plain. We were just talking about not too long ago about getting your own 369 transformational technique. That transformation technique will change your life. Why will it change your life? Because you're making a plan. You're making a plan, you're making it plain. And it only takes, you got 9 minutes a day? It only takes 9 minutes a day. 9 minutes a day to change your life because you're doing something consistently. You're seeing it all the time. You can either get that or you get the bundles. I mean, this wonderful pain cream that we have right here. We have these, we have the pain cream, and it's so soft. It just goes on your skin so smoothly. It just, and it heals whatever you have as far as your muscle aches and pains. And we have our little bonus here. We have our CBD oil that we have right here. We have that right there. You had to make a plan. We dream these things up. I have to roll on. We sell these for $10, but you know what? It's cool to the touch. It helps whatever pain you may have. See, my thing is that we thought of these products. We seen that somebody else has something similar, but we said we need to make it 10% better. So we decided, we thought about it, and our thoughts became things. I'm telling you, our thoughts became things. And these things are helping people to heal people. So you have to, whatever your dream, if you don't have a product, what type of service do you have? What type of service do you have that's going to change people's lives? I know the service that we have and our products that we have will help heal you from the inside out. And some of the stuff is a rub on from the outside in. Whatever you have. But you know what? Have a dream and make it plain.
And absolutely. And you good, baby? Mm-hmm. So, but like I said, we just want y'all to I'm just going to ask you this question. And I just want you to really think about it. How big is your why? And then another thing I want you to do, wherever you're at right now, if you're tuning in, or whenever you do decide to tune in to this broadcast, I want you to take a look at what's around you. If you're in your house, take a look at what's around you in your house, mm-hmm. and think about how long it took you to get that. Right. And think about what you had to go through to get that.
Right.
And ask yourself, are you satisfied with where you are right now and what you went through to get that? Mm-hmm. Or is your why bigger to where you dream bigger, you want bigger, mm-hmm. and you have bigger, and you have more success, right, in the long run if you extend your why bigger, mm-hmm. than what you see around you? Right. And that's what I want to ask you. Just think about it, though. I just want you to just be honest with yourself and just think about it. Mm-hmm. And then you will really know how big your why really is. Right. But like I said, we just like to thank you for tuning in. Mm-hmm. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, right, at Greg and Shateta Young. Enjoy the journey. And mm-hmm. don't forget to check out our awesome hemp cannabis products in our lifestyle marketplace on our website at enjoythejourney.org. Right. And also don't forget to check out our 369 Transformational Technique Journal. And we just want to say, we love each and every one of you all. Mm-hmm. And we just want you to enjoy the journey with us. So have a blessed day and goodbye. And we love you.
Love y'all. Okay.